What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's been staying busy, doing lots of work, making lots of money. I'm outside Builder's First Source, about to run in here and check on some material. But one of my guys just called and had a little bit of a question about a property. Anyways, where some people were hostile, this, that, and the other. And one of the things that you run into more often than not, a lot of the times it seems like you have the trouble that you have out of people on these properties. To me, in my experience, you get it a whole lot more from the neighbors than you do the people who actually live in the house. And it seems like it's been the case for, since the very, very beginning. And it's kind of aggravating because a lot of the times I lose patience with the neighbors a lot quicker than I would the person with the house, because it's, you just kind of being nosy and prying into a little bit of business that's really not yours to inquire about. But anyways, when I got going in this, it's always been a requirement, but used to, it was one of the requirements that it really wasn't enforced, and that was the FTV. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what FTV represents, it stands for first time vacant. And in this industry, we call it the FTV. And the FTV is a very, very, very important posting, because depending on the client, it stays on the house for 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, 15 days, 21 days. Depending on who you're working for. And the purpose of that is basically an inspector has deemed the house to be vacant, and we're putting this posting on the door, and this is the last opportunity for the tenant to get in touch with the client prior to the preservation companies coming in and securing the house. And used to, when you would get they would just post the FTV, and then the day amount would go by. It would signal to create the securing order in the system that would get sent out to asset managers to make it to us. But now, and then you would go to the house, and even if the FTV was missing, if you deemed the house vacant, you could secure it at that moment. The way the rule is now, the way the rule should be, the way the rule I think has always been, is if the FTV is there, stop. So repost the FTV, go through all of the knock task, stuff, get your exterior photos, knock on the door, check your utilities, yada, yada, yada. Repost the FTV, which restarts the day counter or whatever, whether, like I said, 3 days up to 21 days. And it restarts that. So then if you come back and the posting's still there, then you at least know that nobody has been there and retaken the posting down. So there's a pretty, 90% likelihood that the house is actually vacant. And because a lot of the times, the FTV, I would say if we go do 10 secures, probably 7 out of the 10 times the FTV is still present. So probably 30%, 25, 30% of the time, the FTV is missing and we have to repost it and move on. And I prefer it that way because, our safety is what is the most important. So if you do get a securing order and you pull up on the property and the posting is gone, then do your knock task, repost the post, and call your client, let them know it's occupied, and restart that signal. Because not only are you not supposed to continue with the secure, but you're really putting your own, you're really jeopardizing your own safety by continuing, because this is probably the point in the whole process where the tenant or the current or the previous occupant or the person, whatever you want to call them, is probably the most aggravated. Because it's like the time where they're, at the end of the rope. They're having to, they're getting out of the house, they're moving, they're relocating, whatever the case may be, or they're being pressured. So it's probably when they're the most irritable, and you most certainly do not want to be there. Because my biggest fear in this has always been, I'm going to go through this door, there's going to be a shotgun on the other side waiting for me. Because I'm real jumpy anyway. So when I'm sitting there doing it, like, I hear one thing in that house, like, okay, I stop, I'm reevaluating everything, because I am not, I definitely am not trying to get shot doing this. So just remember that the FTV is a very, very important piece of paper, and it's most important for you. And look, these inspectors out here, they're not very good. There may be some good ones, but I think the majority of them are just doing the absolute bare minimum. They're doing below the bare minimum to just try to get a check. Now, they're not making a lot of money per inspection, so that could be a lot of the issue too. But regardless, I don't think a lot of them understand just how much of responsibility they have in the whole process, because a lazy inspector can drag out the overall damages of the house way longer than it should be. And if they're not doing their proper, occupancy checks before they're posting these FTVs, they could potentially put us in danger, which really bothers me. So just always make sure you're checking for occupancy. Always make sure you're checking for that, to make sure that FTV is still there. And if you do get sent out to do a secure and the FTV's gone, then just stop, post the FTV, take your exterior pictures, check your utilities, notify the client, and leave. So just thought I'd cover this in case, there was anybody who was maybe confused about the whole thing. I just, Brookstone really has gotten strict on that, which I'm glad they have. Guardian they need to be way stricter. Guardian does. But Brookstone and NFR, both of them are pretty strict. And I don't normally have a lot of issues with them. So I do think it's an important thing. I wish they all took it very, very seriously, but they don't. But you, as the individual out here doing the work, you should take it very, very serious. So I hope this video helped. If you guys haven't joined the Discord, please do. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Take care. See ya.